Welcome to another episode of the Report Program. Today we have a special show discussing social media, the internet, and how it affects our lives. Stay tuned for this and more. These stories came from Cal State Fullerton students' different perspectives. Let's see what they have to say. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Savannah Romero.
I'm Bree Burries.
And I'm Francesca Loren.
We love our phones so much that sometimes we use them at the wrong time, especially in the car. Kiara Norell has a story on texting while driving.
Excuse me, darling. I have a message for you.
One out of 4 car accidents in the U.S. are caused by texting while driving.
People are hooked to their phones now, and sometimes we're hooked to them at the wrong time, like in the classroom, at dinner, and especially on the road.
So the dangers of texting and driving. Texting is a dangerous aspect when you're operating a motor vehicle due to the fact is that you're distracted. Your eyes are off the road, you're focused on the conversation. It's not like you're just talking. You actually have to physically look at a screen and use your hands in order to communicate with somebody, which takes your total focus off the highway.
Do I text and No. Reason why I don't? Experience. I look down, I get the text, I look up, nothing happens. I look up again, almost dead in that car in front of me over a girl texting me, so that's the reason why, from experience.
It takes the main focus off the road and more onto the phone, which is not good. It's kind of dangerous.
So remember, no text or call is ever worth the risk. I'm Kiara Norell with the Report Program.
Texting while driving is extremely dangerous, and I feel that people should really try to put their phones down. Is the internet the best invention ever? Some folks might think so, but perhaps we look at how it affects the rest of us. It can be a benefit that can have a downside to it, from texting and driving to connecting the rest of our world. Reporter Lucero Aborto has the details.
Students at Cal State Fullerton seem they can't be without. That's right, the internet. And now that it's at the palm of their hands, people can't seem to let go. Americans check their phones 8 billion times a day. That's about 46 times a day per person. Question is, what do you really do on your phone?
I use the internet for basically everything in my life, from when I wake up to literally before I go to bed, to look up the nearest Starbucks or to send a text message. You're using the internet, or if I want to look something up like quickly, I can use my phone to look up whatever it is that I need on the internet. And the internet basically has anything you could think of, so I use it for everything.
I mainly use the internet to waste time in class, whether it's browsing Reddit or just reading up on the news. I use it for a lot of video games because that's the only way to play nowadays is multiplayer. I use it when I want to travel. I look up cool places to go, I look it up for food. Pretty much everything you can think of, the internet's got your back.
It sounds like the internet can have a negative effect.
On the road, I feel like even I myself am guilty of using my phone while I'm driving, so it affects, I think, almost everyone in the world.
But to some, it's the best invention ever.
The internet is the greatest invention so far in the world. I can't say the universe, but I mean the greatest internet in the world. I mean, people can use it in a negative way, like if they're on their phone browsing the internet while they're driving, obviously, but I mean, I think it's helped the planet become more connected than ever.
The internet. Can't live with it, can't live without it. From the Report Program, I'm Lucero Aburto.
Technology is taking over our classroom life, serving as a distraction or as a helpful tool as students rely on technology all the time. Computers and cell phones are now replacing notebooks in a normal classroom setting.
I use my laptop to take all of my notes. I know a lot of people use their, pencil and paper, but I prefer my MacBook because it's easy and, easy to use and just easier for me.
Nowadays, people won't even have conversations when they eat together because they're focused on their phones. Sometimes our phones even have more importance than any other object we own.
It is a little bit of a disfavor when you're in class itself and you get text messages, you're curious about something that has nothing to do with the class, so you actually use your phone while class is going on.
Not just in the classroom, our phones and technology may be a distraction, but in our daily routines as well. Constant messaging, obsessive use of computer or video games cause distracted behaviors, and it keeps us away from interacting with people around us. In a classroom setting, technology is helpful, but its excessive use is what causes dependency on it, meaning we don't interact with others because we just want to be checking our phones.
According to PewResearch.com, in the United States, people ages 18 to 29 own a phone to have internet access, use social media, and take pictures. So since in Cal State Fullerton, most students follow in this age group, I will just recommend you to stay away from your phone and technology devices in this last week of classes, just so you don't have any distractions for your finals week. For the report program, my name is Carla Bonilla.
Social media is a way to stay connected, keep in touch, and gather information. There are benefits to social media, so let's find out what Tony Fan has to say.
Slow down, see?
Perfect.
Elizabeth, what the hell were you thinking? Seriously.
I just wanted nugget.
You are one nugget away from getting 0 likes on your next Instagram post, Elizabeth.
Funny videos like this one are made every day using different social media outlets. Social media is used on a day-to-day basis, going from Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, to even Twitter. Millennials are using this on a frequent basis.
I think with Facebook and Instagram, it's a little more personal. Like, people are actually posting like, oh, like, me and my family did this, we did this, blah, blah, blah. And you can, like, see people, like, on Instagram, like, growing up through their life and, like, kind of stay connected with them through that.
In 2016, 78% of U.S. Americans had a social media profile, representing a 5% growth compared to the previous year. According to estimates, the number of worldwide social media users reached 1.96 billion and is expected to grow to some 2.5 billion by 2018.
Facebook, you just get a lot of news feed from it, so like you get to see what's going on in the world. Twitter, you get to see everyone's opinions, so it's kind of engaging. Even when there's like a really bad game or a really bad play during a game, people just start clowning or giving in their opinions, so that's pretty cool. And then Instagram, just to show off how I'm doing. I'm just kidding.
There are pros and cons to social media. How do you feel about it? I'm Tony Fan, reporting for The Report.
Social media sites such as Instagram allow users to display their lives through pictures. However, those pictures fail to document some aspects of real life in order to gain likes on pictures. Jessica O'Neill has more on the story.
And then here, at nearly 19 with all of these followers, I don't even know what is real and what is not because I've let myself be defined by something that is so not real.
Millennials are known as the tech-savvy generation, aka the age demographic most addicted to their phones and sharing their lives on social media.
Slay, queen, you look flawless. Comment. I know you definitely don't run this account and you probably never read this, but I'm gonna comment anyway.
Social media has gotten so popular that several have made a career out of being a social media presence. Asenia O'Neill is one of the many who, quote, made it by gaining 500,000 followers on Instagram. O'Neill then quit social media altogether due to the false image.
Making your whole day proving to everyone else that you're amazing, is that life? Proving yourself online, taking pictures just in hopes to get likes and compliments, getting excited over how many likes you got or how many people follow you. It's not life.
Most people who live through social media know that life is filtered, showing the best aspects and hoping others respond positively.
You don't need to find your interests online. You don't need to just rely on social media to meet people. Go volunteer, go to an animal shelter, go do something.
For The Report, I'm Jessica O'Neill.
The young and new generations of children are being introduced to technology early on in elementary. Is internet access at such young ages a good or bad thing? Reporter Laura Quinton has the story.
Compared to previous generations, kids nowadays are being introduced to technology and social media at young ages. Many would call them the lazy generation or the over-reliant on internet generation. But some people just think they're lucky.
You know, you have people who will say, oh, people who, you know, like kids, they have internet access. That means they're going to be overly reliant on the internet. And the way I see it is, isn't the world overly reliant on the internet anyways?
Chavez has a lot of opinions about this because currently his little sister is in elementary where her school checks out iPads to the students.
Kids in the past didn't really use the internet that much, you know? Like when I was elementary, I don't remember anybody really using the internet at school that often in the library. It was either let's all hang out at recess or something and just chat. I think it's pretty cool that they have access for it. They have access to internet in terms of like for educational purposes. I think that's really cool.
Having iPads and internet access in schools may not be a bad thing when it's used for education. But should kids be able to use devices that can expose them to social medias?
I think for social media, there's really no place for social media at school, you know? Like I don't see that there's no point for that. That's better to just do it at home. Like if you have a social media, you're better off using it whether you're at home or if you're hanging out with friends, you know? Don't use it at school because there's really no point.
What do you think? Is internet access in elementary schools a good or bad thing? I'm Laura Quinton with The Report.
Have you ever done any of your holiday shopping online? Based on current trends, chances are you have. Reporter Nicholas Garcia tells us more about how internet is taking over retail.
Cyber Monday this year had record-breaking numbers. Consumers spent $3.45 billion online on that day alone, a new record for e-commerce and vastly outperforming in-person Black Friday sales. That's just one example of how there is a rise in online shopping. According to USA Today, millennials are driving this shift away from traditional brick-and-mortar stores. In fact, over half the purchases made by adults ages 18 to 34 are made online. This change has caused traditional department stores like Macy's, Nordstrom, and JCPenney to focus more attention on their online shopping options. Whether shopping for clothes, shoes, gadgets, or music, most people believe online shopping is just more convenient.
Yes, because you just get to shop in your bed, and they offer a lot more like deals online, like a lot of coupons and discounts all the time.
Increasingly, traditional brick-and-mortar stores are having to compete with Amazon and the rest of the internet. With these trends on the rise, it's getting easier to imagine traditional shopping malls becoming a thing of the past. For the Report program, I'm Nicholas Garcia.
How do you listen to music? Most people today are using streaming websites like Pandora and Apple Music to listen to their favorite jams. Reporter Savannah Romero has more on the era of online music streaming.
The way we listen to music has evolved rapidly over the past decade, and it's mainly due to the internet. According to the New York Times, in 2006, record labels still generated $9.4 billion in revenue from CD sales, while in 2011, that figure was lowered to only $1.5 billion. Music streaming websites like Pandora, Spotify, and Apple Music have gained increased popularity and have put CD sales into a downward spiral.
The last time I bought a CD, you know what, I don't think I've ever bought a CD.
I stream my music on Apple Music.
I'll go on Pandora and all that stuff.
The way I listen to music, I just go on Apple Music, and sometimes I go on YouTube, but it's mostly Apple Music.
I listen through it on Apple Music.
While CD sales have decreased by 84% in the past decade, streaming has become the music industry's biggest source of revenue, accounting for 34% of sales. Artists have had to adapt to the way the internet changed the music industry, and now we are seeing more and more artists releasing their new music only to specific streaming sites.
It might make it harder for the consumer if they're only on like one Apple Music, because I remember when I think it was like the Beyonce album or whatever, it was only on Tidal, I think, so you couldn't really get it on Apple Music unless you downloaded it like through some other source. But So I think it's harder on the consumer. I think it's beneficial for the artists because they have it on one thing.
3 albums released this year by rappers Drake, Future, and DJ Khaled were released exclusively by Apple Music and reached #1 on the Billboard 200 charts. While the internet has put CDs almost into extinction, streaming will not kill the ever-adapting music industry. I'm Savannah Romero with The Report Program.
So, Francesca, how do you listen to music?
So I really like Apple Music and Spotify. I make my own playlists on Spotify, and so that's my favorite.
Yeah, how about you?
I use Rhapsody. I get it for free through my phone carrier, so it allows me unlimited skips and stuff like that, so that's really beneficial to me.
Yeah, I primarily use SoundCloud and Pandora. It's so easy to use, especially when you're in the car, on a long trip. It's amazing.
Thank God for streaming.
If you're looking for that special someone, you should start looking online. With more than 2,500 online dating websites available, you'll be sure to find yourself a match or two. Taylor Rodriguez has the story. There's no break.
1 in 10 Americans use an online dating website or app to find love, but the FBI estimates that 10% of those profiles are not truthful. James Jeffrey says meeting one of his online matches did not go as planned.
A picture from way back when, and he had lost a lot of weight. He was very tall and lengthy and not as attractive, which is hard mean to say, but whenever I went to his house to meet him, and it was just very awkward. I had to walk away.
The New York Times says 81% of people lie about their weight, height, or age on their dating profiles. But Dr. Elizabeth Cohen believes that many fake profiles aren't created to harm others.
Not necessarily that people are trying to deceive other people. Sometimes it's just that people sort of have a foggy mirror that they look into and they don't see themselves very accurately.
The search for love is at an all-time high right now, with over 2,500 dating websites and apps in the U.S. alone. Online dating is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and maybe, if you're lucky, you'll be the next one to find love online. I'm Taylor Rodriguez reporting for The Report.
Instead of listening to music on a CD, cassette, or record, people have switched to streaming music on the web. Reporter Matt Monhay has the story.
In today's society, CDs, vinyl records, and cassettes are a thing of the past. Nowadays, people get their music by streaming it from the internet. Apple Music, Spotify, and Tidal are online services that let users stream music from the web.
I personally use Spotify. It's really cool because you can just stream music and you can just discover it on the go. There's no pressure for buying, so I feel like the market's changing for sure. It's getting much easier and efficient and way cheaper to discover your favorite artists, new artists, enjoy your music of your type, and it's sort of like an online radio you can just have in your pocket. So I think it's definitely changing the way we look at music. Is becoming way more accessible and fun for all of us to use.
Student discount, so it's $4.99 a month for unlimited Spotify. So that's super nice, just because I'm balling on a budget.
The ever-growing mobile landscape of devices thus represents new opportunities for learners both inside and outside the classroom. Reporter Bianca tells us more.
As a part of students' daily lives, mobile technology has changed how they communicate, gather information, allocate time and attention, and potentially how they learn. Learners are no longer limited to the classroom's geographical boundaries.
An average college student uses a mobile device during an average school day. 4 in 10 college students use more than 2 mobile devices, according to a survey conducted on mobile devices. This is Bianca Hernandez reporting for the Report Program.
Cell phones go everywhere, right? Technology at their fingertips for photos, for video, for, surfing. The technology is right there in their hands, and I think it's true of everyone pretty much nowadays, not just students, but it's almost like an appendage. It's almost like another arm, right? When you forget your cell phone, you feel like you left, your life behind.
Positive effect. I'm able, especially like when I'm working in class, I'm able to pull things up online when I'm using like the laptop, and sometimes I use like my phone or my own, not the laptop, the school's computers, and then pulling up my laptop or my phone to like look up multiple things, especially with like broadcasting when we're getting breaking news and stuff. It's a lot easier with technology, especially like social media. We're able to get
the information like at a quicker rate.
Like at least 10 hours of my day is probably spent on my phone. I don't even think that's an exaggeration. I think that's like accurate. I'm walking to my car at a lot A, then like people almost crash into me because they're looking down on their phone.
High ownership. Longitudinal data indicates that the use of mobile technology in learning is not as widespread as the devices themselves. A recent Box survey shows that 50% of students reported that they do schoolwork daily from smartphones or tablets.
Online streaming sources like Hulu and Netflix have gained tremendous popularity over the years. In response to the success of online streaming, television usage has declined. Here are key points with why people prefer online streaming. Bree Burries has the story.
Is the internet taking over television? The way we watch TV is changing. The progress mobile devices and more techno-savvy laptops made led to internet becoming the platform for more television. But that's not the only reason.
I just think it's like how I can watch it faster. I don't really mind commercials. It's just like I said, like I don't really have the time to check when it's gonna come on and then like make sure that I watch it at that time. And then if I like go to the kitchen and I miss some parts, then that'd be bad. So I just like it watching it all in like one like spiel.
People really are turning away from traditional television.
I usually use Netflix, Hulu. That's what I prefer. I don't really watch TV anymore. It's just reruns on there, so I can't really keep up to date with my shows.
Netflix, a video distribution network, had in 2015 over 70 million paying Netflix subscribers. Not to mention another big subscription streaming service, Hulu, having an outstanding 65.6 million subscribers. There's also Amazon Streaming, YouTube, and so much more online streaming services. With the increase of online streaming, television sets added applications like Hulu and Netflix for people to watch their favorite shows. I'm Bree Burries from the Report Program.
Do you find yourself connected to your phone 24/7? Well, you're definitely not alone. Taylor Pasqua has more on this story.
I'm at Cal State Fullerton, where I'm going to be talking to students about what their top 3 apps are used on their phones.
My top 3 things to do on my phone, I go on Instagram all the time. It's a really bad habit. I'm always texting or on Twitter. I'm gonna sneak a 4th one in here because this one's important too. Snapchat is one of my tops. Yeah, it's really, really bad, but technology is everywhere and I'm always connected.
Probably Instagram, Snapchat, and is texting an app, or Twitter probably.
Yeah, I would say Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter.
I use Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
GroupMe for sure. GroupMe, Spotify, Tinder.
My 3 most used apps, I would say, are Snapchat, Instagram definitely, and FaceTime because I'm in a long distance relationship, so it actually helps a lot.
While some people gave answers like text messaging and FaceTime, well, most answers revolved around the internet. People have actually developed fears of not being connected to the internet 24/7, even if that means not being connected to the ones right next to them. People are also used to having charging stations next to them all the time now to make sure their phone doesn't die. It has become the age of looking down. Not many people are aware of their surroundings anymore. They're too busy scrolling with their thumbs to keep up with everyone else's lives. Are you aware of your surroundings, or are you connected to the internet 24/7? This is Taylor Pasqua with the Report Program.
Technology has had a great impact in higher education, but it has inflicted some challenges in the classroom learning environment because students use their mobile devices for other purposes besides class-related work. Reporter Rebecca Fausto has more on the story.
Gone are the days where students paid attention in classrooms because of all the distractions they have at their fingertips. Cell phones, laptops, tablets, you name it.
There's some classes where we're on the computer the whole time, and those classes aren't very productive because everybody's on their own websites and stuff.
California State University conducted a study that took a look at the negative effects that laptop use had on the students' learning outcomes. The study concluded that laptops and the use of other technologies during lectures interferes with students' ability to pay attention, grasp, and understand the lecture material.
Is technology helpful? Absolutely. It has moments, it has places to support what you're trying to do, but it does not replace creativity, nor does it replace the dynamic of the class that, in my opinion, has to be focused on working together, engaging, critiquing each other, so finding a big idea and really growing in that space.
But in this era, where we all have such easy access to technology, it is very hard to disconnect the dependency that millennials have on their mobile devices.
As an instructor, I know I'm challenged as to how to make it work and how to make it not be a distraction and be an aid. But right now, it's both.
A study done by Inside Higher Education documented that 90% of students use their cell phones while in class. The potential and learning that technology provides to education is great, but only if used responsibly with the right intention. For the Report program, this is Rebecca Fausto.
For the millennial generation, growing up with technology and social media is nothing new. For girls especially, apps that focus around likes and views can be detrimental to self-esteem. Here's more from Francesca Loren.
I think growing up with social media has given me both positive and negative outlooks on myself.
Social media, a topic very familiar for the millennial generation, especially college-age students. Technology was booming in expansion as they were just hitting puberty.
It can be really damaging to your self-esteem. Like, well, I would get more likes on my picture if I looked like that or if I dressed like that.
Almost anywhere you go, you'll see a young woman with a phone in her face.
Like, you see girls on magazine covers and you're like, oh, I don't look like her. But now it's not just seeing girls on magazine covers. It's seeing girls all over the internet, all over social media. The girls who get the most likes are the really pretty girls or the girls who aren't wearing as much clothing.
Growing up with technology has an effect on a person. In a world where social media apps like Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter center around likes and views, it's hard not to compare yourself.
I use it to compare myself with others. Now that I'm older, I use social media to post like when I feel good about myself, and that really helps.
Technology isn't going anywhere, so it is up to us to use social media to uplift each other, especially young women and girls. We have all the power after all.
I think you have to look at it because it is so like prevalent in our lives, and it's gonna be the main focus of where we're going in life. I think you have to look at it positively, because if you let it be negative, it's gonna destroy you.
Since the 90s, developers have been looking for ways to make internet usage more personal for its users, and it doesn't get more personal than Tinder. Reporter Lydia Mosquera tells us more.
In 2013, Tinder, which was founded by the same individuals who later started the social media app Bumble, was voted as the best new startup app of 2013. This app became very popular with the young crowd. It was created to help strangers connect with other strangers rather than just connecting with people they already know.
I got Tinder freshman year of college, so about 18.
I got it when I was 22 because I just moved down here from Northern California.
I was 18 and I was just like curious. I heard a bunch of people that were like going on there and like finding people that actually like to date.
I was 18 and I got it because I was on vacation with my best friend and it was just the two of us and we had like our own villa.
Sounds exciting, right? However, many soon found out that this excitement could be more than they bargained for.
It got really creepy really fast, so we ended up not moving forward with it, but like as soon as we made profiles, we started getting like really uncomfortable messages.
Like everyone was like really creepy about it. They would just like ask for like pictures, or I got like a couple fake people that were actually like I don't know, like it was a catfish thing, so it was weird, yeah.
It was hilarious, honestly. Very entertaining. The worst was when you'd see someone on there from your class and then you have a class with them. That's awkward.
Apps like Tinder show no indication of going away. So the question is, how personal are you willing to get with it?
First lesson to everyone out there currently using Tinder: never drive together. You need an escape just in case, because you never know when you gotta bounce. Like, it could go bad in any moment.
This is Lydia Mosqueda with the report.
According to research, the pressure of technology is causing people to feel anxiety and uncomfortable. Taylor Perea has more on why some of these negative effects are happening.
With unlimited access to the internet, sometimes people end up using it for reasons other than what it's intended for. Although the internet is a very convenient and helpful tool for people all over the world, the use of it has affected our society in ways that we may not have thought. Nowadays, when you look around, it's common to see people's faces glued to their phone or laptop screens. But having the world at your fingertips makes it that much easier for people to constantly compare themselves to others.
I really do feel that social media causes girls and guys to compare themselves to each other, especially in the fitness industry. You're constantly looking at these girls with these perfect bodies, little waists, big butts, and you're like, do I have that? Do I not have that? And sometimes it can be really unhealthy.
Just this week, the famous Victoria's Secret fashion show aired, and the internet blew up with funny memes about how girls were comparing themselves to these models. Apps like Instagram allow people to get a closer look into other people's so-called healthier, fitter, or better lifestyles.
So I think definitely based on like social media standards that a lot of people base their like opinions based on like likes, and people will actually like delete pictures that they think aren't good enough just because they didn't get enough likes.
Many people have become obsessed with social media and knowing how many people saw or liked their posts. It seems that with the rise of internet, people's insecurities could be rising too. Everywhere you look, you see people hunched into their phones, not paying attention to their surroundings. It makes you wonder if the internet is taking more of a toll on us than intended.
Thank you for watching another episode of the Report program. We hope you liked this special episode about the internet and how it affects our lives. I'm Savannah Romero.
I'm Bree Burries. Thank you so much for watching the report this season, and we hope to see you next season.
And I'm Francesca Loren. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next season.